At your service.
The vampire owl just keeps asking about you. I thought you were our next leader. I can't keep covering for you.
How will two warring societies join together after two star-crossed lovers work together to bring them together? That's the question weighing heaviest on my mind after watching Zombies 4: Dawn of the Vampires. The latest installment of the popular Disney franchise introduced two new monsters, vampires and daywalkers, who have been at war for decades over their sacred blood fruit. After stumbling across their confrontation, Addison and Zed must help the two groups work together and overcome their differences if they're going to survive. The film also marks a turning point for the franchise, as it now introduces a new set of protagonists, a different setting, and promises new adventures in the future. Today's video will focus on the future of the franchise and what we can expect to see in Zombies 5.
We'll help you find the keys and get through the gate.
Yeah, if you can agree to split the harvest.
That's a great idea. And we can stay at that old camp.
Number 1. Nova and Victor leading. Toward the end of Zombies 4, Zed and Addison have to rally the campers to encourage them to keep fighting for what's right. They have a heart-to-heart with Nova and Victor about seeing themselves in these young lovers and leaders, before promising them that everything will be alright as long as they stay true to themselves and support one another. They pass them the torch, so to speak, allowing the Zombies franchise to continue with a brand new cast. Nova and Victor will be the front runners of this new chapter, as they're each the designated leader for their respective people. However, they're still young and inexperienced, with their excursion to recover the lost blood fruit being their first outing into the world. They did alright for themselves, all things considered. They never strayed from their morals, they valued cooperation during their stay at Camp Rayburn, and they solved the puzzles that helped them enter the blood fruit orchard. Although their parental figures and mentors believed they took the wrong approach, they proved to everyone they knew what they were doing when they reconnected their pieces of the Moonstone to revitalize their communities. In the next film, we'll certainly watch them in the aftermath of this success, as their superiors give them more responsibility and influence. They might even take over as leaders early, replacing their father and aunt.
We'll bring balance to our orchards and our worlds!
Number 2. An Underwater Kingdom. After the success of the Moonstone reconnection, Victor and Nova prepare to part ways on the beach. Although they found love during their time at Camp Rayburn, they're still willing to put their obligations first, which forces them to part ways and return to their respective homes. However, Nova hesitates, rushing back to Victor for a final goodbye. Their decision to linger on the beach makes them the only witnesses to a supernatural event, the explosion of water from the sea in the form of a twister-like wave. The spectacle no doubt startles them, as the Daywalkers and vampires believed they were the only monster societies near the mountain. The explosion of water alludes to a third society, one previously hinted at in the franchise, mermaids. Despite knowing of their existence, the films haven't dedicated time to exploring this group of monsters, so I expect them to make their full debut in Zombies 5, as their community's upcoming leaders. Nova and Victor might need to lead a diplomatic mission to make contact with the mermaids, leading to an underwater adventure and a kingdom hidden beneath the waves.
Hang out again soon?
Yeah, soon. I promise.
See ya.
Number 3. Brand new monsters. With 4 films and various other projects within the Zombies franchise, the universe is constantly expanding to include new monsters and their corresponding lore. With the Moonstone often providing the power source for every monster community, there's plenty of wiggle room to include various new groups. It's also tradition for each zombie movie to at least introduce one new group of monsters, but that may change in the future, as the most recent film is a turning point for the franchise and introduces a new chapter. Within it, we receive 2 new groups instead of 1, with the newest main characters coming from each group. We already know that Zombies 5 will introduce mermaids or a similar group of monsters given their connection to the ocean. However, there's still time for them to surprise us with another group that won't be teased in the trailers or promotional material. If the Daywalkers and vampires went years without knowing they had neighbors in the ocean next door, I think it's safe to assume there could be other monsters lurking throughout the mountain passages, also sustaining themselves on the blood fruit.
Unless I fully zombie out!
Zed, no, you can't. You'll be stuck in your monster form forever.
I have to try!
Number 4. Advanced Technology. Speaking of the Moonstone, it has quite a reputation in the Zombies universe. The average human might not rely on their power to drive innovations in their society or to sustain their way of life. However, a reliable Moonstone is a vital resource for the monsters who depend on these precious space rocks to maintain themselves and their societies. With the ability to create alternate life forms, from zombies to aliens and everything in between, there's no doubt that the Moonstones can help advance technology. In the most recent film, The Roots of the Blood Fruit, also created by the Moonstone, had sentience. They knew their death was imminent and sent out distress signals, the pulses that disrupted Zed's Z-band, to ask for help. We also get a few glances at the Daywalkers and vampires, including the cities they come from. Despite their two societies hiding within the mountains and locking themselves away from the rest of the world for decades, they had metropolises complete with skyscrapers, electricity, and other forms of modern architecture, which made it seem like they came from different civilizations. The vampires appear to come from an alternate version of New York City, where the nightlife is constant. In contrast, the Daywalkers reside in an oceanside utopia with their buildings constructed from white and gold. As someone who loves the minor details, I hope we see more of their advanced societies in the next film.
Look, I love Shadyside. I really do, but there's this whole world out there. And I want to see all...
Number 5. References to the original cast. As excited as I am for the new, I'll also miss the old. As I mentioned, Zed and Addison literally and figuratively passed the torch to Nova and Victor, making them the new leads of the franchise. Not only are they star-crossed lovers from entirely different worlds, but they're idealists who dedicate themselves to making their world a more inclusive place. The film is littered with subtle goodbyes from the original cast and acknowledgement of seeing themselves in the newest characters. It's like Zed and Addison had the chance to take a trip down memory lane while also coming to terms with the uncertainty of their futures. I doubt we'll see Zed and Addison in the next Zombies film, as they're already a year through college and preparing to start the newest chapter of their lives, potentially far from Seabrook and the adventures they had in the past. I suspect we'll see another descendant situation where most of the original cast moves on and a new generation of characters takes their place. While we might not see the counselors of Camp Rayburn next time, we could still hear references to them, whether in anecdotes about past films or because they've kept in touch with their old friends through letters or text messages.
It makes perfect sense. We fight to push the stone over to our side.
The winner gets to open the gate and gets the harvest.
Number 6. Romance versus responsibilities. Without Zed and Addison, the next film will need to shift its focus to a new romantic couple, as romance has remained a staple for the franchise. Fortunately, Dawn of the Vampires gave us a great couple to follow, as we now have the overachieving perfect daughter and the free-spirited nephew who bring out the best in one another. They certainly share traits with their predecessors, and it seems like the writers didn't want to stray far from the formula that has brought the franchise so much success. We know the characters share similar traits with Zed and Addison, a fact the characters themselves comment on. However, it doesn't make the writing feel flat or exhaustive. Instead, we're able to see Zed interact with Nova and Addison interact with Victor, easily becoming trustworthy adults for them to rely on. It makes sense that they're able to connect with them because they're used to interacting with someone else who shares similar feats, traits, and aspirations. They also watched from the sidelines as Victor and Nova's relationship developed naturally, respectfully keeping their distance as these young leaders found love in the most unsuspecting places. In the next film, we'll have to watch Victor and Nova overcome the same recent obstacles faced by Zed and Addison, balancing their blooming romance with their responsibilities. As they come from different worlds, they may find it challenging to make time for each other, straining their bond.
All connected by this root system.
So if we bring our moonstones here and put them in the cauldron, that'll revive our orchards.
Yeah.
I didn't expect the Zombies franchise to phase out the original cast and introduce a new set of characters for us to follow. Instead, it might have made more sense for the franchise to end with this last live-action film, with other projects continuing through small animations, music videos, or novel adaptations. However, Disney isn't afraid to test the boundaries of storytelling, so there's a lot of potential for Zombies 5, including what's next for Nova, Victor, and the friends they'll make during their future adventures. Do you think Disney made the right move for the franchise? Are you excited to see more from our new protagonists? We're eager to hear your thoughts in the comments below.
I'm a phoenix. Got it? Caw!
Nice one, Ray!
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.
Hey guys, I just need to borrow the Darkstone. I promise I'll bring it back.